Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request, this time for John and Lindsey. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It could be a topic, commentary, review, re-review, whatever the case may be. And John and Lindsey wanted me to do a commentary on Death Wish 3. So, on pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 29 seconds. Hits the right spot for running time. They definitely knew how to do that. And Canon Films, which I am a big fan of this company. I know a lot of people don't like them because they're considered junk, empty-headed, dumb, stupid, cheesy. But I consider it fun, entertaining, kick-ass, badass, and a fuckload of fun. So, to be honest, this was my introduction to Charles Bronson. I didn't grow up with Charles Bronson like other people did. The era when I was watching, because action is my favorite genre of movies. And so I would grow up with Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren, Chuck Norris, bit of Clint Eastwood, Jeff Speakman, those guys. But Charles Bronson, no, his films I saw much later, except for this one. This one would pop up, and loved it because of just his lot of action. Yes, his over the top is a lot of fun. New York being turned into a fucking war zone. The bad guys were evil. The good guys kicked ass. This is like my type of comic book movie. And that was the year of that type of stuff. Like 1985, you look back, it's one of the great years for action movies. Because the same year you got Rambo First Blood Part 2. You got Commando. You got Invasion USA. I believe Invasion USA was, and I think American Ninja was 85 as well, the first one. Yeah, I think Invasion USA, which is one of my favorite Chuck Norris movies. Rambo First Blood Part 2 is, I go back and forth between that and Cobra as my favorite Stallone film. I think I would choose Rambo 2. Commando is one of my favorite Arnold films, and they're all over the top, one-man army, mowing down the bad guys, kicking at, just, that was my comic book movies back in the day. That's the stuff I love. Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. He had done the music for Death Wish 2, and from what I understand, all they did was take his music from that and repurpose it into this. So technically, Jimmy Page had nothing to do with this, but hey, we own the music. But on the flip side, I get that because it's great music, and I love the score. It's the score from Death Wish 2, but I had not seen that yet, and if it's that good, use it again, and it works great in this. And Canon Films, this is a time when their bread and butter were these type of action movies. It was Charles Bronson or it was Chuck Norris. And to be perfectly honest, if they stuck with that, I think they would have survived a few years more than they did. I'll get to that in a minute, but here we have our criminals here that at times feel from a post-apocalyptic movie. And I guess like some of this was shot in New York, but some of this was actually shot in London. Funny enough, even though it's supposed to be New York, some of this, I don't think the entire movie, but some of this was shot in London. I guess it was easier for them. But yeah, pretty much you have these gang members in New York just fucking making all-out war. Don't go out there, dude. You're just in for a rude awakening. There you go. Don't leave your door open. There you go. Now, the guy on the left there you go, holding the whip or whatever, chain, that's Alex Winter, who would later be in The Lost Boys and Bill S. Preston Esquire and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And this is a very tightly paced movie. I do remember that. It just gets going, and it doesn't leave much room for to be boring, to be honest. Now, I don't know if there was another scene there, because if you looked in the background, there was like a woman being accosted by a few guys. So I don't know if there was a scene where he took care of those guys, or he threatened them or something, or it's just to show just how much of a cesspool New York has become of literal crime everywhere. Like everywhere you look, there's crime when he's just getting out of the airport. The streets are dirty and there's accidents there. And now getting to here, you see all the graffiti. They really do make you feel like New York has become fucking hell. And you see all the residents like knowing that their neighbors being accosted, and people too afraid to do anything. But, and it's like, goddamn, we're like 5 minutes in, and Charles is already almost into the scene of the action. But yeah, Alex Winter, if I understand, there's like, hey, it's a job. I know he's not a fan of the movie. He was not a fan of the director. Didn't seem like he had a lot of respect for Charles Bronson. At least the bits that you hear in that Canon film documentary, which I'm not a fan of. The Electric Boogaloo. I mean, it's interesting to hear some of the details of the making of those films. Makes you wonder where he had that gun, because he just got out of a bus, I guess. I said airport, but the bus. He got off the bus. So, I don't know why I kept the airport, but it was the bus. Which makes sense. This is why he got on the bus, so he could carry his fucking gun around. And immediately gets fucked over. Like, goddamn. Talk about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Of course, they arrest the wrong guy. This is really like tightly paced. Like no, people almost may say no room to breathe, but I think that type of pacing helped make this, and the over the top nature made this a cult film. And there's Ed Lauter, who's done a lot. I mean, he sadly has passed away, but he's one of those guys that you go, oh, I recognize him. He was in The Longest Yard. He was in, I think, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, I believe. He was in a lot of bit parts in movies throughout the years. But this is the film I remember him the most from. And from the get-go, I always thought it was kind of an interesting idea that this cop knows he's the vigilante from the first movie. He's referencing the first movie about 10 years ago. And then it's like, hey, we need... At first he's like, I don't need a vigilante, but actually maybe I do. It pretty much... Eventually, you're going to use him as a secret weapon to clean up the streets. I know Charles Bronson wasn't really happy doing these later films in his career, but obviously he did it for the paycheck because Canon Films did pay him well. You know, it did pay. They did pay him well, and then his wife got to be working in some of these later films, and but again, he wasn't really happy with the excessive violence and stuff. But at the same time, these are the films I recognize him from the most. I think a lot of people do, are these Canon films. Whether it be this film, There's there's the what the evil that men do, and there's, let's see, Murphy's Law, 10 to Midnight. There was Death Wish 4, then there was Death Wish 5. Now, the first Death Wish I could not get into. I gotta admit, I could never get into the first Death Wish. Just, I think it's because I was introduced to this one, and this is like more my cup of tea. This is more my kind of movie. And you see, Death Wish 3, and then the first one's so much more subtle. But I guess for me, it's like I want the insanity like this film brings. There you go, right in the nuts. And there you go. Yeah, I made it fit. Don't fuck with Bronson, man. And you say like what Charles Bronson was doing at this time is kind of what Liam Neeson would do later in his career, whether it be Taken, Nonstop, all those movies, Cold Pursuit. Older guys doing a string of action films where they kick ass. But like I said, I know Charles Bronson wasn't happy. Like I think, I'm sure at the time, if you were to ask him, the only Death Wish film he liked was probably the first one. Death Wish 2, I don't mind. Like I said, I do like the Jimmy Page music. Lawrence Fishburne, early role for him, one of the gang members, and he gets shot in the head where the bullet goes through the boombox he's carrying. Breaks the boombox in two. Jeff Goldblum was in the first Death Wish as one of the people that assault his family. And we come to realize, never become close with Paul Kersey, because if you do, you're going to get killed. Now there's Gavin O'Hurley as our main villain. There you go, nice punch there. He does a great job as a villain. Nasty piece of work. Has a good look to him with this kind of almost opposite mohawk where it's like, isn't it like shaved down the middle? Yeah, Friker. This line here coming up. See, I got a lawyer. But I gotta tell you, if they hadn't brought this up, I would kill you. It's this other line coming up. It's about the old lady. I'm gonna kill an old lady for you or something. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kill a little old lady just for you. Catch you on the 6 o'clock news. And he's so crazy. You believe it. He probably did do that. Yeah, but Gavin O'Hurley, which the other movie I remember from is Superman 3. He's a guy that Richard Pryor gets drunk in order to get some stuff done, but he's always like picking up Clark Kent, but Clark Kent sets him straight in more ways than one. But yeah, this film and that film is remember Gavin O'Hurley from the most. But he's a great bad guy in this. It's just such a asshole, but at the same time he just has that crazy look in his eyes. But I mean, that's the thing with the 80s is that with the decade of excess that went into special effects, makeup effects, that went into action, bigger body count, bigger mayhem, more carnage, more mutilation. And yeah, these films are not, quote, realistic, but goddamn are they fun. And not boring. Not pretentious. And yeah, there's room for well done dramas and well done cop movies, like Serpico for one. Copland is a great movie. Heat, another great movie. Yeah, The Departed, which is not a bad film at all. But on the flip side, there's also room for these movies. I'm not against movies being realistic. I'm saying it seems like this notion that as if every single movie has to be realistic. Now, if the film is fun, I'm willing to let that shit go. If it's not fun, then I'll pick it apart like everybody else does or anybody else would do. But again, if it does its job of entertainment well, then yeah, the fact that yes, I mean, it gets to a point where he has that big old school machine gun mowing down people on the streets of New York, or maybe they filmed it in London. That part. He mentions L.A. That was Death Wish 2. So you went to Kansas City, Chicago. Like this one, the fact takes place in the span of New York, and just how much bigger it got, just how much this all out, really Rambo. In a way, these films are becoming like Rambo. You work for me now. That's me. I kind of interesting of having a vigilante work with the police to clean up crime. It's kind of an interesting dichotomy of having a vigilante work with the police. And Michael Winner, I mean, he probably didn't want to do this film, but he had done the other two. And I think he had done some films recently that flopped. But he knew that if he did a Death Wish film, it'd be a moneymaker. But this was the last film, the last Death Wish film he did, because I think the fourth one was J. Lee Thompson, which that's a director that then started working with Bronson a lot. Because I think J. Lee Thompson did. I think he did Murphy's Law and 10 to Midnight. Don't quote me on that. He also worked with Chuck Norris on Firewalker, J. Lee Thompson, so it seemed like that became the director Bronson was more comfortable working with later in his career. I do love the Jimmy Page music. I think it works so well in this. And like I said, maybe it's a repeat. Okay, it's a repeat of the score in Death Wish 2, but it's a damn good score, so why not? If it works, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, how many times did they use the music in Friday the 13th? 1 through 4, and it was still here remain for Dini doing it, but don't throw away the good stuff if it works. Again, don't fix it if it's not broke. Like I say, you have these gang members, and they feel like they would belong in Escape from New York. Ooh, right there. I wonder if that one was longer, and I wonder if they had to cut it for the rating when he stabbed the guy in the neck. That would be interesting to see if there's like deleted scenes and stuff cut down, again from either the rating or just because they wanted to make it as tight as of a pacing as possible. Like I said, you never want to get close to Paul Kersey because they either get raped or killed or raped and killed. Just one of them, well, they both, his wife and daughter both got attacked in Death Wish 1, and one of them died. Then the other got attacked and died in Death Wish 2. Here, this girl, his lawyer is going to have a little bit of a fancy for him, and then she's going to fucking die. And then Death Wish 4, there's the woman he's with. Her daughter ODs. He gets in to stop the drug trade. But then she gets killed. I told you not to keep going forward, Kersey. So like I said, anybody that you get close to, you're going to get fucked up. There's Alex Winter again. Yes, again, I know Alex Winter, like, he would talk shit about this movie, but in all offense, dude, I mean, there you go. You didn't do a whole lot in your career. Let's be honest. I mean, I love the Lost Boys. You probably have like, do you even have one or two lines in the movie? Like you're one of the vampires, and we see you, but yeah, I think he does. He has like one or two lines in the movie. God forbid if I remember them. People of the vampires, people remember like Kiefer Sutherland more. And then yeah, Bill Ted Sets an Adventure and Boulder's Journey. Those are good. Keanu Reeves definitely had a much more successful career. Because what he did, he was what, Freaked. Didn't really care for that film, and that film didn't do much of anything. At one point, he was going to direct a remake of The Gate in 3D. And that never came up. That never came to fruition. So, I don't know what, I mean, that shitty new Bill and Ted film, but, and between, I don't know what he did. Between Freaked and, like, Freaked, Boulder's Journey era to the third Bill and Ted film. But yeah, I don't know what else he did. Here's Martin Balsam, which he was in the original 12 Angry Men. Try to remember if he was in the Delta Force or not. Might have been. But yeah, I know he was in, I think it was juror number 1 in 12 Angry Men. Good older actor. And like I say, Canon Films, like they made a series of movies, or they produced. A lot of them were released with the help of MGM. That were just entertaining and really made an impact in the 80s. Whether it be, like I said, American Ninja films, they said these later Death Wish films, Chuck Norris films like Missing in Action movies, Invasion USA, Revenge of the Ninja, the Brighton films, Delta Force. But sadly with Canon Films, what happened was that they got too big for their britches, so to speak. Because what happened was how do I put it? They were doing pretty decent business, releasing these sequels, already in movies like American Ninja. Their bread and butter, these action movies. But they wanted to be either bigger or, quote, more legitimate. So they bought these properties. He-Man, Spider-Man, working with Marvel. Superman, and it didn't pan out. Spider-Man movie never got made. There's talks of like Toby Hooper, and then Albert Pyun, and to be fair, Golden Globus, they didn't really know much about this stuff. I mean, they thought it was literally about a guy that turned into a spider. Like, how do you not know who Spider-Man is? But, they were from a different country. They weren't born here, so they didn't grow up with that stuff. But that movie never got made. Captain America got made, granted with when canon pretty much dissolved and it went to kind of well, I don't know if it dissolved fully, but Golden Globe is split up, I should say, and they kind of were each doing their own thing. And like canon was still doing stuff, but the later stuff they were releasing, they didn't get much headway in terms of box office, because you had Street Night with Jess Speakman, that was a canon release, I believe. Hellbound with Chuck Norris. And those are kind of the last days of canon in that era. Then you had the other company, I think they released Captain America, the 1991, and that was a pretty bad movie. That didn't do anything. Then Superman 4. Pretty much Christopher Reeve said, okay, let me do this film called Street Smart, then I'll give you a Superman 4. He did Street Smart, not too bad of a movie, but it didn't do anything. And then what they thought was a sure thing, Superman 4, that didn't do anything either. It was embarrassing, it was awful, it was terrible. I'm sure they were hoping they'd get a Superman 5 as well, and they were actually going to take deleted footage from Superman 4 and make a Superman 5 with it. That didn't work. The Superman 4 was awful, cheap, because they cut a lot of the budget before the film started shooting, and then lost a lot of fucking money. That girl in the middle there, I think that's Marina Sirtis, plays Deanna Troi on Star Trek The Next Generation. So yeah, I think that's Marina Sirtis there. Yeah, right there, yeah. Played Deanna Troi on Star Trek The Next Generation. But yeah, so Superman didn't work for them. Marvel, that belly flopped. He-Man became Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren, and that did not really light light the tires and light the fires. Then what was the other one? Even though it worked with Stallone, sadly, because they got Stallone, paid him a big paycheck to do Over the Top, which I think Menahem Golan directed, and that didn't do anything. Although I love that film, I love Over the Top, but that film bombed badly. And technically Tannen's name is on Cobra, but from what I understand, Warner Brothers wanted Stallone for Cobra. Tannen said, wait a minute, we already have a deal with him to make our movie Over the Top. Then Warner Brothers kind of made this deal with, okay, fine. We want Stallone now to do this because it's right after Rambo 2 and Rocky 4. We want to get Stallone while he's hot. He's the hot ticket. Fine. We get to do Cobra first, but we'll put your names on the credits for publicity to seem like, wow, these guys are more legitimate because their name's on this product that's a bigger Warner Bros. Product. If you let us do this, then we'll put your names on it, and then you'd have Stallone to do your movie afterward. But even Cobra made money, but was looked at as a box office disappointment because the previous films made over 100 million or 150 million. Cobra didn't even make 50. It made like 49 or 48 million. So, love Cobra, but And it made money, but it was still able to box office disappointment. And I thought this was an interesting idea that he had a car literally gotten as bait. What's the problem? Should literally using his car as bait to bring the cockroaches out to be stomped on. What's my car? Nope, you first. There you go. Sent them a message. And of course, the fact that he's doing this vigilante stuff, and you're sitting there going, "Well, how come the cops don't do anything?" Number one, they come up with the fact of he's working for the cops, and then the rest of the neighborhood is so damn dangerous, the cops just stay the fuck out. Yeah, that guy there with the purple bandana, I think that's Rico Ross from Aliens. He's the guy that said, "Guess you don't like the cornbread either." So yeah, I think that guy that put the axe down on that fella. How you saw a little bit of a purple bandana. Yeah, I think that's Rico Ross. Guess you don't like the cornbread either. But yeah, Canon, you had bomb after bomb after bomb again. Superman 4, over the top. So, like I said, Superman 4, over the top. Masters of the Universe, and all that stuff. So that absolutely crippled their business. Without a doubt, hurt their business tremendously. Nice right cross. There you go. Just Charles Bronson just kicking ass and taking names and being the hero of the neighborhood. And you have this guy just preparing for war. But like I said, it's pretty much this era of movies where with the 80s just become more excess and more of I don't know, I just love that. I love that over the top action, that fuck it attitude. I appreciate that stuff, and it just fun to watch. It's just I keep saying the word fun. Like if you don't want to be ridiculous or you don't want to be silly or if you don't want to be over the top, then do it well. Okay. You think you're Billy Badass? You think you're a ninja? Go have some fun with you. Maybe Tim McAllister saw this movie. Who knows? Maybe. Carl Culkin, his theater saw this movie, and that'd be a good idea to use on these robbers. I like these. I mean, and it seems like something you could make at home. It doesn't seem like a jigsaw type of intricate trap. It's no nails. Some of them are crooked more than others. And the guy don't watch his step. His feet don't be doing an impression of a pincushion. Well, how does he have a clean record when he was in jail? I mean, I guess his lawyer got him out, but doesn't that still go on your record, even if your lawyer got you out, that you were brought in for that? Ah, there you go. Someone had fun. That's what you get. Don't step on them goddamn, If you're a mouse, don't step on the mouse trap and expect not to get hurt. These people just fucking with ladies here, man. But they see Bronson. They have a little bit of pause. Don't fuck with that guy. Like this whole bit between these two, it goes nowhere. So if there's any minute discrepancy I have with the movie, it's this whole thing here because it's just number one. To repeat one last time, never ever get romantically involved with Paul Kersey or you will die. You will fucking die. The most unluckiest man in action film history. Even more so than John McClane. Because at least McClane has his family and they're alive. Not Paul Kersey. That shows you the time period. JVC. Old school camcorder there. And of course, critics trash the shit out of this movie, as they would. Which is hilarious because, in a way, it's very hypocritical. Because they'll look at a Fast and Furious film, right? And those two, especially those later ones, some I do enjoy, some not so much. They get way more ridiculous than anything in this movie. I mean, I don't know what the critics thought. They might not have liked that one, Fast 9, where they went into space. But I know some of them, you get some really ridiculous shit, and you're sitting there going, well, why the hell are you giving this a pass? Like, come on now. But you think... just like you don't like the film because it's over the top and ridiculous, but yet there's other films that are over the top ridiculous that you give a pass and a praise to. Now, if there's other reasons why you don't like it, okay, to each their own, but it can't just be because it's ridiculous. Like, you don't arrest all the other cronies and assholes back there, but you find picking on this guy. It's just like being a fucking dick. Maybe you just steal a t-shirt that fits you. Look like you're wearing a training bra, buddy. With his old school TVs, man. Oh, is this the one where he builds his... Yeah. I love this. Because of the reveal later. What's that? Teeth. I love it. I do. It just... God, it's fun. You see this? They tried to get in. His teeth. For some reason, I almost made me think of like the A Team if it was R rated, which I know doesn't make sense because there's no team involved. But you know those A Team episodes where they go and it's a group under siege from a bad guy or under the rule of some bad guy, and the A Team comes in. But in that case, for a TV show, it's they shoot but they don't hit anybody. It's just people running and they jump. They jump and or get knocked out or something. Oh, is this what we have here? The I like Bronson's smile too. Yep, there's the there's the teeth. It's his the way he says the line. Teeth. It's like a certain joy of it worked. Fuck you, motherfucker. Suspect described, missing 2 front teeth. There you go. The Diggler. Gonna take care of him next time. I think also I just like this war-torn city. It just makes it feel like it's a bigger scope in a way that never really got that way again. I wouldn't say Death Wish 4 doesn't look like a cheap movie. I'm not saying that. Death Wish 5 it does though, look a little bit cheaper. Because that was what Dead films were kind of drying up money wise. Wildy. Ah yes, the Wildy Magnum. Brookfield, Connecticut. It's 475 Wildy Magnum. Real stopping power. 44 Magnum is a pistol cartridge. 475 Wildy Magnum is a shorter version of the African Big Game cartridge. It's a real mess. You don't need a lot more bullets. Because there's 2 bullets there, but trust me, he has a lot more. But yeah, I remember someone saying, actually a nice guy, Civil Wings, on here, who's really, really into guns. He's mentioned, he's done streams, that pretty much any time this movie is shown on cable, the Wildy Magnum goes up in sales. I mean, they can never do this. The coolest thing would have been if someone would be like, they release this film with a replica of a Wildy Magnum. Like, it can look like a toy so people don't think it's a real gun, but that'd be nice to have a Wildy Magnum. Even just like a replica of it. Doesn't have to be the real thing, but a replica of it. That'd be so cool to have. Of course, this guy not doing his job. This poor woman being attacked. Deanna Troy. Does she have the psychic powers? I didn't follow Star Trek Next Generation as much as the original. I'm much more of a fan of the original Star Trek. Well, you need to see her titties. There you go. If you want to see Deanna Troy's titties, this is the movie to do it. I mean, Michael Winner, I've heard stories that a lot of people really did not like the guy and really. Apparently, like, the guy was kind of nasty to certain people, might have been nasty to women. I don't know for certain. I wasn't there. These are just the stories that are told. That, you know, they didn't really like working with him in that fashion. Oh, yeah, we find out she died, right? Is that really the? That's such a weird way to put it. She expired. What, like the expiration date on a fucking loaf of bread? The arm was badly injured. There were broken blood vessels. Some clots came free, lodged in the heart. Well, that does happen from time to time. So this time wasn't Paul Kersey as this guy happened to. There you go. Make a whole damn arsenal. Time to kick some ass. But yeah, I just miss these kind of action movies. I do. Nowadays, either they are made, but then either they're stringent on their budget, or you have directors that don't seem to know how to make them, or they have this kind of weird filter they put on it. So the cinematography or the lighting just seems more phony than usual, or they put in CGI blood squibs, or they hold back on it because they deem it too ridiculous, or I don't know. Just get a bunch of extras and stunt people and get a lot of fucking big body count and kick some ass, take some names. What's wrong with that? I know these films, it's not like they cost nothing to make, but they cost a lot cheaper than fucking superhero Marvel movies. There we go. A little bit of an enticing thing. Get some ice cream there. Never could get in those. I mean, I would eat if I had to, but I would be much more of an ice cream sandwich than a bar. I would get the ice cream sandwich. I would like lick the edges first, and then don't do it, man. Don't do it. Oh, there you go. There you go. Nice squib there in the back. He killed the diddler. All right. He's dead. Yeah. But they see this guy and then they're willing and wanting to fight as well. Yeah, they killed the diddler, man. They killed the diddler. And that was Rico Ross behind Gavin O'Hurley's shoulder there. That lady's still gun ho about the diddler being dead. I wouldn't say there's not much left to him. It's just one bullet hole. You act as if he got shot, 8 times or something. Yeah. Well, Paul Kersey has had a lot of practice. But yeah, this is. I love it. Is my favorite Death Wish film. I didn't talk about the Death Wish 4. I don't mind. I like it. I guess I would say it's my second favorite Death Wish movie after the third one. Well, no. I'd probably say Death Wish 2. It's between 2 and 4. No, actually, you know what? I stretched that. My second favorite is actually the remake. I know what? But yeah, I actually do like the reboot with Bruce Willis. Eli Roth, I thought, did a good job with it. You had some oh shit gore moments. You had a couple decent action. I thought Bruce Willis, considering his health, did as well as he could with those afflictions during the making of that film. It was nice to see Vincent D'Onofrio in that movie and not be a bad guy. Yeah, I do quite like the Death Wish reboot. Let's see. Death Wish 2 gets 6.0. This one gets 5.8. Death Wish 4 gets 5.4. Death Wish 5 gets 4.9. Death Wish 1 gets 6.9. And yeah, Murphy's Law, The Evil and the Men Do, 10 to Midnight. Here it says the film was mostly shot in London. The old Lambeth Hospital being used as the police station and jail. Charles Bronson uses a Wilde 474 Magnum hand cannon. It was his personal handgun in real life. He just suggested it as a means to make the film unique. Will D. Moore, the gun's creator and technical consultant to the production, says that the sales for the film increase each time it's aired on cable. Originally rated X. Charles Bronson was paid $1.5 million out of the $10 million budget. He was 64 years old when he appeared in this movie. Let's see. Two ideas from the original novel Death Wish actually made into this movie. The vigilante rents a car to use as bait for street thugs, and a diddling Puerto Rican male appears. Marina Sirtis says, I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but I hope director Michael Winter will rot in hell for all eternity. I was pressured into doing that scene with nudity I did not feel comfortable with, and I said nothing. You didn't say anything because you were told you would never work again. I wasn't going to let some idiot who didn't know how to behave destroy the dream I had since I was 3 years old. There you go. So, she was his biggest fan. According to Alex Winter, Charles Bronson was a health nut and germaphobe. I mean, nothing wrong with being a health nut. Want to be in good shape. Let's see. Charles Bronson signed a 3-picture deal with the Cannon Group, which included reprising his starring role in this film. Okay, There were several deleted scenes in the movie, some cut for an X-rated and others that are in the strip, that have apparently made their way to some of the TV cuts of the film. Well, it can't be some of the TV cuts because some of this is more graphic. A close-up of Fraker sticking the knife into Hector's throat. 2 men assaulting another man on a mattress in the jail scene. A meeting between Ed Lauter discussing the crime stats with the DA. The police confiscating a dog, a Doberman Pinscher that one of the residents had for protection. Paul Kersey using an old mattress as a punching bag as part of his workout routine. Diggler breaking the girl's arm after the rape. That's why the doctor explains how her arm was broken. Apparently Michael Winter had a lot of brash outbursts. One annoyed crew member printed a fake newspaper saying Michael Winter killed by falling scaffold. All 200 crew members claim responsibility. So there you go. Michael Winter does not mention any personal follow of Bronson in his autobiography. He just says he didn't do any more Death Wish sequels because he was disappointed with the budget cuts and felt they would go straight to video. There you go, free falling. Free falling. Yeah, apparently Michael Winter was a big old piece of shit. He was a pathologically brutal, strange, sadistic, insecure, egotistical character. Well, there you go. Yeah, sounds like a winner. Alice Winter revealed he took on the role because he was a broke film student at the time and he needed a summer job. Let's see. Charles Bronson was unhappy with the level of violence of the final film. So maybe that was another reason why Bronson didn't want to work with him again. That was a reason why Bronson didn't want to work with him again. Or at least he didn't voice, hey, get Michael Winter or anything. Again, that's how sadistic this fucking bad guy is. Let me call the husband of this woman who's dying to fuck with him. Like, just what a piece of work this guy is. I mean, it's a nasty piece of business. There's her and her throat cut. And we've seen her earlier. Seems like a nice lady. The rumor was Charles Bronson was so disappointed in Michael Winter he never worked with him again. However, Bronson had been working with Thompson on almost every film he did with Cannon and some before. Most likely wanted J. Lee Thompson later to direct this. Maybe he wanted to direct this. I guess maybe this guy is saying maybe Charles Bronson wanted J. Lee Thompson to direct this one instead. Let's see. Charles Bronson and Ed Lauter were both in the film Death Hunt. So, there's that gun there. There we go. Which will be heavily used. But I mean, lo and behold, this guy has this big fucking gun here. Well, it's going to be put to good use later. To extremely good use. Yeah, but it definitely feels like a war because he gets one, then Fraker gets one, he gets one, then it's like, okay, he gets this guy, but then they get Marina Sirtis. He gets Rico Ross, they get this old lady, this poor guy, gets the fucking phone call that no one ever wants to get. So. Again, this stuff, I mean, I don't think you really needed. I guess they figure, well, we gotta have some kind of romance in here. I don't know why you needed it, but because you don't. It really doesn't lead to anywhere. I don't know if you'd even say you buy that, now all of a sudden they're in love and she goes to bed with him and you're sitting there going, this part is like, where the hell did this come from? I just, maybe the idea is the idea of a sense of false hope. Because again, his wife died in the first one, his daughter died in the second one. Maybe there should be a sense of starting a new life. Sally's not the case though. So again, maybe that's the whole point. Like I said, this whole sense of false hope. Because I don't think she's gonna last that much longer. I think she's gonna get killed here, actually, or pretty soon. I think. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. She's gonna last long, or much longer. Yeah, I think she gets punched and then the car starts rolling down. Which again, I mean, just goes to show just how fucking sadistically evil this guy is. Just punches her out, lets the car going. But I mean, it's a bad guy. Bad guys do bad things. Does that have to be fucking PC and shit? And of course, it explodes. It's a movie. It's gotta explode. In reality, the crash just would have been there and there'd be no explosion, but you have an explosion so that she. You know for sure she's dead. I do like Bronson's look in here too. The leather, the black leather jacket and stuff. Interesting, they're taking him into quote protective custody. But I guess the idea of him reason to not be on the street for the next bit to come into play. I think it's Martin Balsam. He gets his gun out, and they don't kill him off. I will say that's probably one of the few close people to Paul Kersey that doesn't get killed. Of course he destroys place. Of course the cops ain't doing shit. Yeah, I guess the reason they filmed this in London is to be able to get away with all this stuff. Because in New York, it'd probably be a lot expensive to try to have this big old war zone and explosions there. Big old Rambo type of gun. There you go. He's got a gun, but I don't. Oh yeah, didn't know how to work it. Yeah, he's not being too quick or too fast about the whole thing. That's okay, guys. Y'all don't get your comeuppance sooner than later. Yeah, we're getting to. Now, are you sure he's going to make it? The last time, doctor said someone is, oh, she had a broken arm, she'll make it. Oh, actually, nope, she's dead. Oh, the scum away. I think I remember back in the day, I could be wrong on this. Well, back in the day on YouTube, I used to do these movie tributes where I would like take a film I like and take a song I like, add it together, try to edit a music video. I think the one time I did one for Death Wish 3, and I think it was with Scum of the Earth from Rob Zombie. Scum of the Earth, come on. Don't quote me on that. I might be completely misremembering that. But it seems familiar. If not, it might have been with a different song. Time to let old Painless out of the bag. It's like, you want a war? You got one. Time to clean fucking house. About time. You get your Rambo commando moment. And that was like the year of that. I did Chuck Norris, Invasion USA, Charles Bronson, Death Wish 3, Stallone, Rambo 2, Arnold Commando. It was the year of the one-man Rambo, one-man army, take no prisoners, over the topness, and loved every minute of it. You gonna do call your mama? Damn. Where the fuck do you go to get this shit in the mail? That's what I'm wondering. Laws missile launcher, anti-tank. Like, makes me wonder how he got the connections for this. Armor piercing. But so it's another movie that ends with a bang of. Well, actually, now that I think about it, like technically Rambo 2 ends with Stallone getting the rocket launcher and blowing up the helicopter. Chuck Norris gets that and kills Rostov. It's time to die. And then Charles Bronson does it here. Not that I'm complaining, but that's three movies. Some rocket launcher, missile launcher fun. Come on, Charles Bronson. It's time to clean fucking house. There you go. Yeah, but Bronson complained about the violence. It's kind of like Sigourney Weaver when she complained about all the guns being used in Aliens. It's like, come on now, man. He just shot some of the creeps. And everybody. Well, it is New York, I guess. This is realistic. It is New York. Everybody would have a fucking gun here. There you go. Yeah! Shoot the shit out of them. There you go. See how you like it. Shoot me, I shoot you first. There you go. Guys, I'll be coming out. Yeah, how the fuck do you guys get grenades? Goddamn. That's the thing is like you take the first film, which is a lot more subtle, and now you just made it literally World War III. But I love it. Just blew the shit out of this place. I didn't even go for it, just go for broke. Need a lot more of that. So shoot the whole fucking car. There you go. There you go. Shoot everybody in the car. Flipping all. Well, that's what I got my Woody Magnum. Kill them all that way. Got the big old ride, then all rides. There you go. Credit to people who was able to light. Credit to people willing to take the guts to light themselves on fire for a stunt. Because that's not the easiest thing for your willpower to go, okay, you gotta psych yourself up to light yourself on fire and flail around long enough for them to get the shot. Then you gotta get to the ground and wait for them to come and get the fire extinguisher on you. Come on, that little pea shooter ain't gonna work. You gotta get the Wildy Magnum. Exactly. This will do the job. Total urban warfare. Right, there we go. Two-piece and a biscuit. Makes sense he would be wearing Kevlar. Guess you gotta learn how to aim. There you go. Guys can't aim for shit. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Like, this whole rise going on around them is like, would you watch it on the television? Again, cops not doing shit. Okay, let's take care of the people that are not an issue and a problem. Let's, not worry about the actual bad guys. Damn, the director tried to film as much of this as possible, this burning building. Yeah, I noticed the director is in love with those shots where he's like, wide push in. You see a lot more of that in this. Whereas, yeah, these kind of zoom ins. I like it, they work. I'll take care of this. Hey, you bastards. Is that how you treat a woman? There you go, hopping like a frog there. Take you. And you sorry son bitch. There you go, goodbye. Fuck off and die. Well, yeah, finally some cops doing something, only they can't shoot for shit now. I guess, we have bad guys that shoot for shit. Better have some good guys who can't shoot for shit. Ed Lauer did say Charles Bronson's theater was a better shot than anybody in the department. Well, looks like the neighbors still now starting to fight back. Yes, New York, they all got a piece. Yeah, you fucked with the neighborhood long enough, they won't take action. There you go. There you go. That's what you get. Sadly, didn't work out for these guys. I think this guy's in for a nice surprise. Pop goes a weasel. There you go. Another fun trap there. Knife right to the forehead with the the plank there. His little zip gun. It worked. for worse and worse. Yeah, Paul. I was gonna say Paulie. Paul Kersey definitely needs some more body count. Let's get him up there, man. There you go. That's when you need to learn how to aim, fellas. There you go. And a bullseye. Again, just total fucking clean house. Some good stunts too. You know, falling off of 2-story floors, people on fire get mowed down. Oh, Dallas Winter, he definitely needs to go. You know, Theodore Logan. Fuck you, Bill. They know what Bill S. Preston. Now we have Paul Kersey and Ed Lauter. I just like the idea of a vigilante and a cop working together like this in this total war side by side. Definitely feels different compared to other Death Wish films. Yeah, just a total urban war. The carnage, the mayhem. And they didn't even have to hide behind anything. And they didn't have to hide behind any obstacles. Just these bad guys just didn't know how to shoot for shit. There you go. Probably those few times Ed Lauter got to be an action hero. It's just this guy just hanging on the tree. I don't know why the fuck he was hanging on the tree. This goes like with a double barrel shotgun. Yeah, it really is like a video game. Just defeat the next wave. There you go. Get some broom foo there. Nice dose of Gold D Magnum as well. I know where we'd get some extra supplies now. I think when they kill the bad guy here, it's like, okay, they dissipate and I guess they won. I guess since their leader's gone, they've been demoralized, I guess. Well, the bad guy can't die that easily yet. Again, if you don't end it with a bang. If you don't say your bulletproof vest stop that. your boss. I mean, there's really like nothing left but charcoal, but I guess they put two and two together. Shouldn't the cops be arresting all these motherfuckers? Like, I was gonna say, cops, like, did you arrest some of them? Like, you're driving past all the bad guys, arrest some of them. Well, my job here is done. This neighborhood has been destroyed. Time to destroy another one. I always forget on the left there you have his two buddies, the kid and the other guy whose wife died in the movie. It's like, okay, you know, hey, this neighborhood's done. I guess we fixed the problem. I guess so. Time to go. I mean, most people would say, did we win? Seems like we're trying to, but you know, I guess since the leader died, then, like I said, they've been demoralized. Or at least this now the cops will maybe take these a little bit more fucking seriously. But that's Death Wish 3. It's crazy, it's over the top, it's insane, but it's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.